guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm. Happy New Year to everybody. Now we're out in the front of the kitchen garden, which is right near the road, so you will hear traffic. Car coming now. Okay, so I apologise in advance if you can't hear me. Now today we're going to do our January planting. This is going to be the first of these videos. I'm going to do a monthly video outside telling you what we're planting, so just give you a rough idea of what's going on here. Okay, today I'm going to plant just a few lettuce, but I'm going to start them off in a seed tray. What else have I got on my list here? I'm going to start off a couple of cucumber plants too, and I'm going to start them off in basically in toilet rolls. And I'll briefly show you how I do that. But that's just how I start them off, and once they're established into the garden, they'll go. Now I'll show you in a minute, but just down here there's a little wooden planter box that is in front of one of our duck pens, and in there I'm going to put a row of radishes and a row of spring onions. So yeah, I'll show you where I'm going to do that in a second. What else are we going to plant? Oh yes, in one of the beds over yonder, and I'll take you over there later, I'm going to put in a row of beetroot and a couple of rows of carrots. Carrots and beetroot and swede, or rutabaga to American viewers. The bane of my existence, trying to get the damn things to germinate. But anyway, I'm persevering. Everyone else, with the exception of carrots, everyone else says that beetroot or beets and swede, rutabagas are easy. I'm not finding it so. So anyway, maybe something to do with our climate, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you how I then protect them. You can imagine being next to the duck pen. They attract pigeons, so we have to protect the young seedlings from pigeons. Also because we are in South Australia and we do get extreme heat, although it's a lovely overcast day today, but it's still quite warm, about 25 degrees C, that is. Yeah, we need to protect it from the sun. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do, and I think that's all we're planting this month. Yep, according to my list, that's all we're planting. So I will just I'll take you off the tripod in a minute, and I'll show you the bed we're going to be using. Now, this is the planter I spoke of. There's one of the duck pens. We've got the black boy Sebastian and his 3 girlfriends in there at the moment. But anyway, here you can see this is a dusty, dry, old garden bed. So we're going to rejuvenate that. And we're going to start by pulling out those old beans there, and we're going to put some compost on the top. Right, now I've got my daughter Kate helping me, because trying to be cameraman and do the task is not easy. As you can see, we put compost down. Now she's just doing a drill or a trench, whatever you want to call it, right to the end there. Okay, can you see that? Just got a trench along there. what we're planting here is sparkler, right, from Mr. Fothergill's. Okay, so we're going to run a line of seeds in that drill. So these are radish seeds, they're quite big actually. So anyway, all you do is sprinkle them along. I think I've only got enough for about half the row of those ones, and then I've got some more. Oh good, it sounds like someone nearby has started some sort of rotary hoe or yeah, putting radishes in that first run. We've just got a couple of open packets I'm going to use up. We've got sparkler, taking up about a third of it, and then French breakfast, which is actually my favourite of the varieties that are available here in radish. And I say my daughter Kate's just popping them in now. Now slightly cover them over. Now you just lightly fill in your trenches. Don't push down, just, you know, lightly cover over them. And that's it. Easy peasy. These will be up relatively quickly, they usually are. But like with all seeds, you've got to keep them moist, don't let them dry out. Now you can see there, now when I tag things, I put the name, obviously radish. I'm not particularly interested in the garden as to what type they are. I keep a note of that in my notebook. Right, and it tells you it should be ready in 6 to 8 weeks from now to harvest. And I put the dates on the back. So if I'm out in the garden and I can't remember when I planted it, I can look at the back and think, oh, that should be ready, or it's not ready. Alright, so that's how I do it. And I just use a Sharpie, and when I've finished, a little bit of nail polish remover on a cotton ball, just lightly, takes all that off and I can use it again. Okay, now Kate's just putting in the spring onions. We're doing half a row just at the back there. Okay, like we did with the radishes, we've got the spring onions. Should be ready in 8 to 12 weeks, which gives us a date range of about that. Alright, so if you just backfill them, Kate. There you go, just tuck that in the end. That's the way. Wonderful. Okay, well I hope you can hear me with the traffic, and I hope you can see me. Now, I spoke earlier about setting things up in toilet rolls. Well, what I mean, this is just your common everyday garden toilet roll. Well, maybe not garden, but you know what I mean. Cut it in half. One sheet of unused toilet paper. Okay, and all you do, I don't know if you can see, got your toilet roll there, all you do is you push that down, and you work your way around, you fold it over at the top, so it doesn't fall out the bottom. Okay. I'll just do the other one. I want to start off 2 cucumbers. Okay. Now, all I do then is get my teaspoon and I fill up these. Easy, 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 easy as. Okay, I'll do the other one. Okay, check out any sticks and things, you don't want them in there. Okay, I don't normally do this sitting in the sun on a hot day, because since we started filming the sun's come out and I can feel it beating down on me. So, I normally do it inside, but that's alright. I'm only doing a couple just to show you. Okay, and with the other end of the teaspoon, I don't go and make a cup of tea with this, you understand. This is especially for this purpose. But here I've got Lebanese cucumber seeds. These are from an Australian company called BLOGGIE. Excellent value for money. Now, only problem with BLOGGIE is you don't get a lot of seeds, but they are cheap. But you don't get a lot of wastage. So anyway, put 2 seeds in there, in each one. Okay, cover them over. Okay, I have my tag saying how long before they should be harvestable. Again, my date range, so if nothing's happening within that date range, I know there's a problem. Okay, and I just tuck that down in there. And keep them moist in a tray. I generally keep them, because of our summers, it's just too hot. I will keep them inside, protected from the extreme heat for a while. And then this here, I use these plastic meat trays, which you get from supermarkets. This is where we get mincemeat. Comes in here. So, or ground beef, whatever you want to call it. Now, all I do is I heat up a nail on a flame, and I punch half a dozen holes in the bottom, and it becomes my little tray. And with something like this, I need to make 6 little holes like that. Now, these are a butter crunch lettuce from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds in the United States. These are really, really nice lettuce. They're small and they're compact. Very flavourful. So, and all I will do I will just lick my finger, dip it in, and then I'll flick off what I consider too many. And when I've got like 2 or 3 seeds left, I'll just drop those into a hole. and then just lightly brush them over the top. Now I usually get quite good germination rate with these. I still put 2 or 3 in each hole, and generally thin out. But you don't really have to if you get 2 come up together. Yeah, they're fine. And I wait till, you know, they're a certain size, and then I just use my teaspoon again, and I dig them out, put them straight into the soil. So, and again, my label with the dates, that goes in there. Now, if it were in the cooler months, I would put these into the greenhouse, but this time of year they need protection in the opposite way, so they will come under lights in the house, in the air conditioning, and kept moist but cool. And once they've broken the surface, they'll probably then go out under our veranda where they get the warmth but not the sun, and then we'll slowly toughen them up till they go actually out into the garden. Okay, so they go back. Cucumber go back, and we go on to our next task. Now, just quickly before we move on to our next task, this is what we do. Okay, we cover beds with seedlings or freshly planted seeds with the shade cloth, right, secure it down. It keeps the sun, the direct sun off. It does let the light in, and the warmth obviously is still there, but the pigeons and birds can't get in, and as I say, the sun can't bake the top of the soil. So this is how we attempt to keep our seeds moist in the blazing Australian heat. Okay, we're still in the front part of the kitchen garden. This is the bed that we're going to be planting our swede in, rutabaga for our North American and Canadian. I think they call it rutabaga in Canada, but I'm not sure. But certainly North America. This is the bed for that. As you can see, this is what our soil turns like in the summer. It's dust. Absolute dust. Trying to keep this damp is a nightmare. So, as you saw in the last bed, where we put the shade cloth on, in these beds, we do it slightly different down here. Can you see? There's another one we've done. But anyway, we're going to do the same thing that we did there. We're going to do it over here. Okay? And like here, you can see these are our leeks, which, you know, on first glance you might think is doing well, till you actually see how thick they are. So, and again you see it's just dust. So it really is a battle. But another problem we've got out the front here, I was just saying to my daughter we're going to have to address, is erosion. As you can see back here, these beds were up on a small retaining wall that was made of old wooden railway sleepers, and the sleepers have rotten. The top one's fallen off down there, and you can see that the garden beds are suspended in mid-air, and like here we've had to put bricks under the corners to stop the erosion, and you can see it happened on that bed there too, and you can see it happening on this one. I'll zoom in. I'll try and zoom in if I can move my camera. Can you see that? And you can see it here, but when you go up to the top, you can see that all the soil collapses down into the hole in the corner, and that's because the soil's leaching out through the bottom. So, yeah, we have to fix that. We're going to put bricks under this particular bed for now, just in the corner, stop the soil escaping. But all the beds, you probably can't see it on here, but all the beds on this retaining wall all now lean towards the front. And you can hardly tell they're up on a retaining wall here, but they are. It's actually reasonably prominent when you look. But yeah, we're going to have to repair the retaining wall. We're going to do it with large brick blocks, and then we're going to have to backfill with soil and then lift the front of all the beds and correct this problem. But that's a job for when the hot weather, or the worst of it, passes, but it'll need doing before the winter hits, because once we get rain it's just all going to wash away. Okay, now before we go on to that, have a look at this. What a schmozzle this side is. This is our rhubarb bed, but the rhubarb bed has been invaded by grapevine, and at the back there you can see tomato plants from that bed. There's a raised bed through there. That's overflowing into here, and also I don't know if you can sort of see right through there, we've got a pumpkin that's come up and going mad in there too. And just to make it interesting, on the corner here is where we plant our cheeky Prince pumpkins, and we let them go up the trellis and over, and then they run along the pathway in front of the duck pen, which is round there. And it's a bit late taking off this year. It's sat for a couple of months doing very little, but it's now got flowers on it and it's going berserk, which is great, because the cheeky Prince did really well in our garden, and although it didn't produce as many pumpkins as one of the others, the quality was better. It was definitely a better tasting pumpkin, so we have high hopes for that producing some more this year. Alright, so let's get on and fix this bed. So we've sort of done a bit of a patch-up job on these corners to stop the soil from escaping as best we can. And we put some beautiful compost on the top of there. Smelling very organic over here. Okay, and now we're going to plant our seeds. So what we do, having got our compost in, lay down a stake, and then we put holes that probably just deep as your fingernail, I suppose, right, at regular intervals. Imagine the size of a Swede, and you need that sort of space between the holes, and use the stick as a guide. We've already done one row along here, but we figure we should probably show you what we're doing. So okay, now having done that, you then go along and you put a couple of seeds just in each hole. It's always best to do 2. You can do more if you like, but it just could create more work with your thinning out. But I like to, as long as you know the seeds are good, you know, 2's generally enough. Here's me saying that. You can very rarely get the damn things to germinate, but anyway, I know they're okay. So, okay, Kate's just finished that. So then she just very lightly fill in the seeds. Okay, and then when you've done that, you move your stick over and do the next row. These are the ones we're planting here. They're called Best of All. If you don't know what a Swede or a rutabaga is, that's what it is. It's like a turnip, but it's yellow. Okay, and we will come back when all this is planted out. Okay, and like the others, once it's all planted out, we look at all this shade cloth here, but yeah, we've covered it in shade cloth. With these we put just these pea stakes in the corner just to keep it taut, to stop it sagging and sitting on top of the plants, and obviously bricks to keep it down. Now we put that, I don't know if you noticed, we had a small brick in the middle. We put that there so that we can put the sprinkler in the middle, and you know, make it easier to water, because you can't just stand here and water for a couple of minutes with a hose, because it just drains straight off. You've got to have a light spray on for at least half an hour to let it soak in, and you have to do that every day. So we will move on to the next bed. So this is the next bed. We've peeled back the shade cloth. Now where you see that stick across there, we run a trench in, and we're going to put a row of carrot seed in, and then we're going to do the same thing behind it. And then in front of the brick, I'm going to do just one row of beetroot. Okay, so we'll come back when we finish that. Oh, hang on. Before we do, these are the carrots we're sowing, and again from Baker Creek Heirloom. So these are one of the few carrots we've kind of had success with. Be them only, you know, small, but at least they germinated. So we're going to try again with these. And we have a new beetroot to try. It's I'm not sure whether it's Crosby or Grosby. Can't tell by the handwriting. I'm dyslexic, so I can't distinguish what it's supposed to be. But anyway, either way, apparently it's an Egyptian one. Again from Baker Creek. So that's what we're sowing there. Okay, so that's it, all done. So, just to recap, we've got our carrots and beetroot in this bed. Yeah, the one down there on the other side of the leeks. That's where we put the swede. And then round the front of the duck pen, which is behind all this grapevine and everything here, and that huge nectarine tree, which, would you believe, is only, oh, I think 2.5 years old. But anyway, it's massive, isn't it? Okay, and behind there we have that other garden bed in front of the duck pen that we put the spring onions and radishes in. Not to mention the Lebanese cucumbers and lettuce that I've got in the trays that I'm going to take back into the house with me, and I'm going to play nursemaid to for the next few days to a week. Okay, and that's what we're doing here at Hilltop Farm in January 2021. So yes, wish me luck, keep everything crossed for our carrots, beetroot and swede. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it hasn't been too long and boring for you. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel so that you can see more videos like this, and until next time, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!